This week, it's not a twofer. We end the spooky season with a triple feature. We discussed 2025's I Know What You Did Last Summer and Good Boy, plus a divergence into the 2020 remake of The Brain That Wouldn't Die. 3 films, 2 old guys, 1 podcast, 0 time to waste. Welcome to the final episode of this year's FlickFloptober.
FlickFloptober, the doom and the dread. Laugh till you scream or hide under the bed. From cheesy slashers to eerie gold. 1 month of horror, new and old.
I was there thinking, as you did this, Gary, I wanted to interject so bad. You should have just put, we're reviewing 3 movies, 2 remakes that didn't need to be remade.
This is true.
I didn't know the world needed a remake of The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
And 1 unique concept film that we'll talk about. All right, so let's start with The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
So let's brace this. So, Gary, these are ones that, like, so you watched this one, The Brain That Wouldn't Die.
Yes.
I watched I Know What You Did Last Summer, the newer one. Correct. And then you watched Good Boy. So this is kind of like, we're not going back and forth. We're just kind of, we've started doing this thing where we each will suffer through films on our own.
Yeah.
Hopefully preventing both of us from having horrible evenings of film. That's where we're at. Correct?
That's correct. However, I like to think of it as we're just giving more bang for our buck to the viewer. You get more movies to find out if you should or should not watch these. By
Gary,
doing it this way.
We're like a Costco or a Sam's Club of film reviews.
We are.
We
package them up. You get bulk
movie reviews.
Yes.
Wow.
All right. So let's I'll start with The Brain That Wouldn't Die, which is a remake, which, you know what? Let me just read my review.
Yeah.
I think everything is right there that we need to say. The, pardon the pun, brainchild of Derek Carr and Hank Huffman, this nearly shot-for-shot remake of the 1962 cult film fully embraces the original's absurdity while injecting a hearty dose of tongue firmly in cheek humor. The story follows Dr. Bill Courtner, an ambitious surgeon obsessed with pushing the limits of medical science. When his fiancée is decapitated in a horrific car accident, Bill keeps her head alive in his basement and begins the grotesque search for a new body for his soon-to-be bride. If this was simply a remake, I would have been bored, even though it clocks in at 83 minutes. But the real fun is in its departure. The visual gags, self-aware commentary, and sly winks at the audience make this actually worth the watch, with a cautious recommendation. If you crave a campy throwback to 60s horror with a comedic twist, this movie is for you. But if you're chasing real scares this spooky season, you better skip it, because the only thing you'll find in this is a film that wouldn't end. Andy, surprisingly, I give this film a flick.
Nice.
With that cautionary recommendation. And because I liked it, and because I wanted to say, look, you know, this is a remake of an old film. It's definitely campy.
Okay.
And to make you understand, like normally I would try to torture you by showing you a clip. But in this case, I'm going to give you an idea of a little bit of the vibe of this movie, because I actually found myself a couple times laughing out loud, which is surprising because it actually made it. So this is one of the earlier scenes in the film that made me laugh. And well, let's just see what you think.
Okay.
Scalpel. Set it to 300 joules and wait for my order. Here goes nothing. Steady. Thank you, Jan. Steady.
And so that sort of gives you an idea a little bit how this film is. Yeah, I love the hand coming in, pat, pat, pat.
Yeah, not the wipe of the face, just the the very thank you.
Yes, thank you. Look, dude, this movie on a particular night, this is a good movie to watch. This is not something to watch, like I said, if you're into like want to see something scary for for Halloween or around this time of year. But it's campy fun. It's totally making fun of the whole genre, and it's very cheaply made. You can tell. I mean, the sets are ridiculous.
Is it as cheap looking as the Pickleball Exorcist, though? It's not that bad.
Actually, it might be a little bit. It might be better.
Yeah, I'll say graphic. It looked like it.
Yeah, and it's filmed better. I mean, it's shot way better than those movies.
Right.
So again,
okay,
with a cautionary recommendation, I think it was a good movie.
Trying to shut something off here for. Let me check here. I do happen to have the Rotten Tomatoes available, Gary, for The Brain That Wouldn't Die. And those are the 2025 version? Is that what
2020.
2020. Gary, it has it sitting at 83% with the critics.
Nice.
There's no reviews. There's not enough for the popcorn meter.
Yeah.
I always struggle with that.
Hey, everybody, tell us how you think it should be pronounced below.
Popcorn. What I do like is it does say it's available on Prime Video.
There you go. Good place to watch it.
I'm trying to find a review here real quick to jump in on you with it. How about a rotten one? You want a quick rotten one?
Sure.
Oh yeah. There's only 6 reviews, so.
That's funny.
I mean, the one person that's surprisingly faithful to the original, with a lot of the original dialogue, so that's kind of nice. The one bad review, the bright Technicolor look that cinematographer Kevin Forrest brings to the film is the one true positive in this otherwise wasted effort that eventually just runs out of winks. So Eric Childress from efilmcritic.com, he's giving that he's not a fan.
Not a fan of that one, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's a place for this stuff. I mean, we make fun of stuff like Pickleball Exorcist and some of the other films that we've reviewed over the years. But I think you're right. There is a place for this, and I think if you enter into it's like going shopping on Black Friday. If you go into it knowing it's going to be what it is,
yeah,
then maybe you won't be as disappointed. Maybe you're like, yeah, that's what I expected out of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, I love the idea of it. This craziness, because I mean, you and I have sat around and come up with some stupid movie titles. I thought it would be funny if a movie was called this, and we would try to flesh out an idea. I clearly never finished any of the ideas, but
I guess that I will say this. I think the deal with this film is that it fell into public domain, and like,
is that
people have been doing? Yeah, that they decided. I mean, why not?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the acting and everything's absolutely terrible, but it's terrible on purpose. It's kind of the point.
It'd be like if we just had a video camera with a bunch of our friends in a loft apartment in Covington,
something like that. Yeah,
I mean, that's oddly specific, but just
it is very. Yeah, it is very. Anyway, again, you got what I thought about it. But let's move on. Let's move on, Andy, because you saw the.
So I watched the 2025 version of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I didn't know this was even out there. I didn't know the world needed a reboot, so to speak, of this film. I didn't even know there were 4 films in this franchise. The whole I really
knew what you did.
I'll always know what you did last summer. I will always love you.
I wrote down what you did last.
Everybody knows what you did last summer. And I'll say this. Let me see if I can find the real quick the Rotten Tomatoes on it. Now, Rotten Tomatoes has this sitting at 36 with the critics and 68 with the audience. So not great. Again, having said that, I don't think it needed to be done. The film is really not that bad.
Yeah,
it's just I didn't know it's just unnecessary because there was a very good original back in '97 that was done with Kevin Williamson and all those people. Now, Kevin Williamson wasn't involved with this one, and I didn't really know. I'd forgotten about this, Gary, because they did just a Scotia research on this. I thought Kevin Williamson had written this original idea, and this is based on a book.
Oh.
I don't know if you knew that.
No, I didn't.
I have been. It's based on a book called "I Know What You Did Last Summer," came out in 1973, written by an author named Lois Duncan.
Hmm.
So the original, the guy again, because Kevin Williamson, if you remember back in the day, was hot. He did Scream. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Faculty. I think there's another one he did. I had his name pulled up here real quick.
I'm glad you went that way with the hot reference. I was like confused. I was like,
Oh, yeah,
I don't
sorry,
think I recall what he looks like.
not hot in a way like, hey, you're gonna bring him home to your parents. Not just anything wrong with that. But remember how just like he was the writer of the moment.
Yeah.
Dawson's Creek, all that stuff.
Yep.
But I didn't. I just again in just my either I'd forgotten or my dumbness. I didn't realize that he did. This wasn't an original idea. He just loosely adapted the book. Which now I'm curious. I want to go read the book.
But you know what they did last summer already.
Yeah, I mean, kind of. But it, it's a decent movie. There are some flaws in it, and I was explaining this to Teresa last night, and she's like, maybe you're just too picky on certain things, and I think she might be right. But the plot, the basis of the movie is this group of kids, which you can kind of see behind me. They do something terrible. Someone dies. They hide it. They try to, a year later, things come back to haunt them. That what irritates me, and this is again, I know it's nitpicky, but this group of kids, they live in these waterfront mansions. Nary one of them has a job, except for one person who does the poor. She didn't have the silver spoon in her mouth, so she actually works for a living. But it's just stuff like that. And it comes back to, and I've said this before, we were talked about another movie in our just recent reviews. Sometimes these films, I think they're just vehicles to get girls in various states of undress.
Yeah.
And I don't mean, I'm not a prude. Trust me, I enjoy women in various states of undress. It just seems like it's a little like they're beating you over the head with young girls in underwear, bikinis, dudes walking around with. I was telling Teresa, I said, never in our lives have me and my friends walked around with our shirts unbuttoned, just like, "What's up, bruh?" And she goes, "Well, have any of your friends ever looked like that guy?" And I said, "Well, no, but that's beside the point." I
don't think you're listening to me.
You always got to hit me right in the common sense part. So you put that aside, and the fact that every time somebody makes a move, it's shing, 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 shing.
Right.
Like I pick up knives and forks all the time, and never a sound is ever made. But
I kind of wish it was.
Well, it'd be fun. So, I mean, I give it a flick though. For me, I liked this movie, and it was enjoyable. If you like this style of film, this is well worth watching. Does it have some things that aren't great? It does. But this is a fun sit down with your friends, make some popcorn and watch a movie, or for your boyfriend or your girlfriend. And this is fun. And go back and watch the original if you really want to see where it started from, because there's some callbacks to the original film in this version.
I was going to ask you, this isn't like a remake of it, right? It's more like revisiting the theme.
But yeah, they just basically kept the same title, but there's some absolute callbacks and tie-ins with the original 1997 version. So, yeah, I think it was a good movie. I mean, the critics don't agree, but I mean, critics are assholes. Present company excluded.
There is something though to be said of a creative bankrupt Hollywood just going back to tap the well of previous things a little too often. So
yeah, you touched on something I meant when you said that. This is the other issue I have with this is my issue with these reboots. It does show you, like you just said, creative bankruptcy. That in a land of creativity, Hollywood, you're revisiting something that was 30 years ago. You can't. There's no originality left. Come on, man. Yeah. There has to be.
Yeah.
So that's a slow beef with me a little bit. But having said all of that negative stuff, it's a good movie. I think you would actually enjoy it if you want to put it on. You and the kids want to sit and watch it. It's not bad, and it's not gratuitously. There's no nudity or anything like that. It's just, again, it's like, oh, well, these girls walk around in their bikinis all the time. Like maybe we just didn't live in that world, Gary.
No, well, yeah, that's
maybe you and I did not attract the same.
That's probably true.
Was.
I was also thinking though, if you went back to our teenage years of films, our parents would probably say the same thing about the movies that were aimed towards us as the audience, which sounds clearly like it was geared more towards teens.
Yeah, that's probably
early 20s, whatever.
I'm just being an old man who has a daughter
and shouts at clouds.
Yeah. So anyway, good movie. Watch it if you need something on this spooky season.
Sounds good. I'm going to switch my background to go along with my next discussion.
Oh, who's a good boy?
Well, we'll find out. So,
who's a good boy?
Good Boy 2025. This is a new film. And I might catch some flack for this, and pull those Rotten Tomatoes numbers up because I'm gonna need them right after. Not yet. Let me go ahead so like I said, I might get a little flack for this one, but Good Boy just didn't do it for me.
Oh boy.
While critics and audience have fallen head over paws for this haunted house story told through the band's best friend's eyes, it ended up making me feel more rough than moved. When I first heard the premise, a ghost story seen through the dog's eyes, I was like, sounds pretty cool. What a killer concept. But what I watched wasn't what I pictured at all, because the film is told entirely from Indy, the dog's perspective, Indy being the name of the dog, both in the film and the actual actor dog. The human characters are blurred into the background, literally. His owner is mostly reduced to an off-screen mumble and a pair of muddy boots like the adults in a Peanuts cartoon.
Nice. As
the owner becomes haunted by the house's spirits, his behavior turns cruel and inconsistent, which is jarring. In the beginning, there's a montage, like at the very opening of the film. And, it's like he's growing up with this puppy, and like that's his dog, man. He's really into this dog. And when he becomes kind of cruel to it in the middle of it, just the way it happens just doesn't, I don't know, it just didn't sit right with me.
Okay.
So as I was watching, I found myself drifting to my phone more and more often as it went on.
Never a good sign.
Never a good sign. I think the concept had potential. I just think the execution never really found its foot. What could have been a sharp, soulful horror fable ends up chasing its own tail. Just because the movie's told from a dog's perspective doesn't mean it has to be as incomprehensible as English is to a dog. One paw down. I did want to like this movie. I went into it with the concept of, and that just sounds like a really cool thing.
Well, we talked about it.
And after watching it though, I went I'm like, am I the only one that doesn't like this film?
Well, let me tell you, Gary, you are in the minority because Rotten Tomatoes, I mean, the critics have it at 89% and the fans have it at 82%.
Yeah.
Here's the critics' consensus just on Rotten Tomatoes. Good Boy is a visually striking, emotionally devastating horror film that eschews genre conventions to deliver a uniquely haunting and conceptually ambitious experience. Bam.
Yeah, I just feel like maybe they watched a different movie than me.
Gary says no. Somebody says best performance of the year.
From the dog is great. I'll give it to the dog. That for the most part, it does make. There are some scenes that makes you wonder how they got the dog to do the things that the dog does.
Yeah.
I know this is probably shot with the idea of this will be a cheap to make film because it's kind of one location and it kind of shows in the way that it's kind of put together. But I need more than that, man. I felt like it was a very weak plot. At times kind of confusing. And I know that, again, I guess my problem is just because you're getting it from the dog's point of view, it still should be something that we comprehend as the audience. And I felt like that was not present for me. Maybe I'm dumb. Maybe it's me. Is it me? Am I the asshole?
It is. Well, there for other reasons, yes.
Right.
I was sitting there thinking as you were saying that, I was like, is this one of those deals where someone had a pretty good concept, but not a great, like they didn't deliver it with, like,
Not a great story, I think.
yeah, like like we talk about a time where somebody comes up with a great title, but then the movie, the story doesn't deliver. I was like, well,
Yeah.
somebody thought this out. Like they had the title, then shot a movie or wrote a script around a title or an idea.
I mean, that's kind of how it feels to me.
Okay.
Apparently not to most other people. After I watched this and I kind of wrote out my thoughts of it, I was like, and I did see the Rotten Tomatoes after the fact and thought,
Did we watch the same movie?
I'm like, I got to see what some other critics are saying about this. And I watched a couple review videos. Everyone I saw, everybody liked it. So,
well, and this was, correct me, wasn't this one of the ones like we saw on TikTok that somebody said, you got to put this in your top 5 films to watch or something?
Yep.
That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you watched it and I didn't sit through it, because I'd have been like,
well, I mean, you may have a different take on it. So
dude, I'm quick to go to my phone. I'm super quick. Although I mean, it took me 3 days to watch I Know What You Did Last Summer, and I was interested in the movie. But that's other reasons. It's not because of boredom.
Yeah.
I kept getting interrupted, and I don't know if I think you know this, but the people watching, my wife does not like horror films at all. So every time she'd come into the room, I'd have to pause it. And if she sat down on the couch with me, I'm like, okay, well, I got to turn it off now, because she's clearly wanting to sit here and watch TV. So I just turn it off and try to watch it right after work or before I go to work. I try to, I'm bad one.
It's probably what I should have done for Good Boy. I should have paused it.
Oh, please stop.
I apologize. Lord, I apologize.
Gary, I know what you did last summer.
Yeah.
Got a book of puns.
Very bad. Yeah, very bad.
Was that it? You got anything else to say? You want to move on?
I think that's it, man. I just want to thank everybody for watching. Hopefully you got something out of these 3 reviews. I'm curious to see if you see any of them. You want to comment down below and let us know what you thought about them.
Yeah.
Especially Good Boy. If you check that film out, let me know what you thought. Tell me I'm wrong. I don't mind. But thanks. Anything you got to say, Andy?
No. You got two good. Well, I mean, thumbs up. I mean, I Know What You Did Last Summer, and Gary tentatively gives the thumbs up on the flick on the Brain That Wouldn't Die. But
yeah,
he's not saying it's a great film. It's just
that's correct.
It's entertaining. It's not. It's the Citizen Kane
of
decapitation
film remakes that involve a decapitated head.
I think that's a fair review.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks, everybody.
Boom.
1 month of chills. Who could want more? It's FlickFloptober, the doom and the dread. Laugh till you scream or hide under the bed. From cheesy slashers to eerie gold. 1 month of horror, new and old.
This has been a Touch of Madness production, brought to you by the creative minds at Tommy Twins Media.